All right, it's Friday, July 11th. This is a midday update on the SPY. Today we gapped down pretty strongly below the lows of yesterday. I discussed how I bought some puts here pretty aggressively on the 1 minute chart, expecting us to test lower, which we did. I was able to scale out and set up a no-risk trade. And then as this green bar formed on bar number 2, I said I'm still kind of biased to the downside, but I realized maybe it has to take out a little liquidity first into this gap before rolling over to the downside, which it really hasn't done yet. So it's come up, it's bounced around a little bit, it's taking out, some liquidity on the upside, maybe even reversing back to the upside before it's over. But we are below the midpoint of the prior day, so I'm still not really comfortable buying anything today, and I still think on a Friday there's certainly a chance to roll over in the afternoon back to the downside. We're still in 2 down mode, but we're above the open, and we've kind of for enough time now have grinded higher. So I had a break even on my trade here on the puts. I aggressively bought those 630 puts at 780. I scaled out to 880, and then I just sold the rest at 695. So about a point gain on this, about a point loss on that for break even. I happen to have a good trade going at the moment on Coinbase here, where I actually bought some puts here early and had a small gain, and then I bought some stock here at this green bar, scaled out already. So I want to see if this heads a little higher here. So this will be my winning trade on the day, a couple of trades. The SPY, unfortunately, back to the daily chart, didn't follow through on this. Normally on a kicker day when it traps all these green buyers the day before, opens up below the low, you can get a nice push down, and there certainly are targets below if it wants to hold on a 2 down mode here. We're going to have to see how this bar closes. The weekly chart, we worked our way up to the all-time highs here, so you can almost kind of now kind of sense the lower lows and the higher highs we were expecting ever since this reversed back up way back here in April. So we've gotten there, a little exhaustion risk. Down days like this are actually positive, in terms of building up a little energy for continued moves higher. There's certainly nothing at the moment that's, looks like we're ready to sell. If this bar holds here, then we'll see next week, do we get a 2 down week? And if so, can we there's a gap here to fill. I can see that. So I would certainly be comfortable shorting this here into this gap. There's enough volatility, but the trend is certainly up, so keep that in mind. It's going to take a lot for it to really have a deep pullback, but there could be some, various moves along the way. This was a 2-day pause that worked back to those highs. Today, I thought there was a good chance we could head lower, but price action at the moment is saying no. But I still think we're just kind of rallying up into this gap from yesterday below the midpoint, and don't be surprised in the afternoon if some red happens. I'm not looking to buy, like I said, and at the moment I'm not really looking to sell unless I see some big red bar happen that looks like it wants to at least test this liquidity area and then maybe get to the lows of the day. We're going to see what happens in the afternoon. I've seen all kinds of things on a Friday. So anyway, that's a midday update for me. I'm kind of going to call it a day here. The SPY trade was a break-even trade. Coinbase looks positive, and we'll see if it continues higher into the close or not. And don't be surprised to see, this particular price action fail at some point. Although until it does, it's trying to have a little bit of a reversal day to the upside after a big gap down. But again, I wouldn't be surprised to even maybe take out this high one more time and roll over and then work lower, but we'll find out. So going into next week, we're going to have to just kind of judge where this bar closes up today, and in compound fashion, are we starting to work down towards those lows, or is it just pausing in here and the uptrend continues strong? So we'll know more going into next week. But for now, just the type of thing where it didn't follow through as it had the chance to do early on. So you have to kind of, and again, there was no real actionable, there was no trade normally. I was aggressive to get in here with puts early, but if you just look at the 15-minute chart, the only thing it really signaled was a buy to the upside, but I don't want to do that below the midpoint of a prior day when you're at exhaustion risk to the upside. So even if it heads higher, that's fine. And, for now, that's what it's doing, but we're going to find out in the afternoon how this structure unfolds and then make a determination how that leads into next week.